Welcome back to the Green Mac TV channel. Deep in the heart of Bangalore, one of India's most pressing environmental challenges is taking shape at Bellandur Lake, where dense mats of water hyacinth and aquatic weeds have clogged major stretches of open water. Cleantech Infra's fleet of advanced aquatic weed harvesters has stepped in to reclaim open water, restoring flow, ecology, and aesthetic value to the lake. The machine begins by navigating onto the water's surface, using twin pontoon supports and hydraulic drives to maintain stability even under heavy loads. Its front conveyor and cutter system engage, slicing through thick vegetation at the root and lifting the biomass onto deck. The weeds are then conveyed aboard, collected in the hold, and carried back to shore for offloading and further processing. As the harvester advances, the dense green blanket begins to clear. Water flows freely, sunlight penetrates once shaded zones, and aquatic life beneath can breathe again. Mechanical harvesting offers both speed and ecological advantage, removing nutrients and excess biomass that would otherwise rot and cause hypoxia. Once on board, the harvested material is transported to nearby composting or processing facilities, transforming waste aquatic vegetation into farm-friendly fertilizer and biomass feedstock. Cleantech Infra reports that during the initial phase at Bellandur Lake, hundreds of tons of water vegetation were removed in just several months. This operation illustrates a modern, industrial approach to lake management, combining heavy-duty machinery with sustainable end use of harvested material. It's not just cleaning the surface. It's resetting the lake's ecological balance and giving the community back their waterfront. In 2015, one of the world's largest religious gatherings took place along the banks of the Godavari River in Nashik, Maharashtra, the Kumbh Mela. With millions of devotees arriving for a holy dip, the city faced a significant challenge: how to keep the river and its surrounding areas clean, safe, and presentable. That is where Cleantech Infra stepped in, deploying advanced machines and systems to manage floating waste, debris, and litter in the river. Their mission: to turn what could have become an ecological burden into an example of environmental management. From the early morning, floating trash skimmers moved through the water, gathering plastics, bottles, offerings, and other floating waste. These machines, developed for river cleaning, captured debris that would otherwise drift to the banks or sink into the water, reducing visual pollution and preventing downstream buildup. At the shore, catchment crews offload the collected material and transport it for proper disposal or recycling. Meanwhile, the river flows freely, unaffected by mats of waste. The smart coordination of machines, personnel, and logistics ensured that the site remained clean, enabling millions of pilgrims to access the river safely and with dignity. This operation wasn't just about aesthetics. By removing solid waste before it decomposed, the project reduced methane emissions, improved water quality, and restored the natural environment for aquatic life and local communities. The success of the 2015 cleanup helped Nashik Smart City to commit to purchasing dedicated river cleaning machines, turning a one-time project into a long-term infrastructure for urban sustainability. In the heart of the celebration, where spirituality and environment converged, technology played a silent but vital role. The floating trash skimmers of Cleantech Infra transformed waste into action, showing that even in high-density events, clean water and responsible management are possible. At its core, this project demonstrates how engineering meets environment, how millions of visitors can coexist with nature when machines, systems, and human dedication align. For the city of Nashik and the festivals ahead, the message is clear. When we prepare smart, the river stays clean, the people stay safe, and the celebration becomes part of a cleaner, greener future. Every day, aquatic weeds spread silently across shallow waters, blocking waterways, changing ecosystems, and increasing flood risk. Here, the Watermaster amphibious machine steps in, designed specifically for shallow water intervention in lakes, canals, and marshes. Mounted on pontoons for stability, it drives right into overgrown zones and deploys its heavy raking attachment, clearing tangled mats of weeds like water hyacinth and roots rooted deep in sediment. As it advances, the vegetation is pulled aboard and transported to shore for processing, restoring water flow, light penetration, and aquatic life beneath. It's more than cleaning, it's ecological renewal. With fewer machines and less disturbance, Watermaster helps municipalities and environmental managers maintain healthy waterways, reducing vegetation, improving navigation, and preventing the next flood. Every morning, after heavy rains, the Jones Falls River carries a torrent of trash into the shimmering waters of Baltimore's inner harbor. A floating boom catches much of this debris: bottles, wrappers, plastics, and everything in between. Here comes the trash skimmer boat. With its low-profile hull and wide intake boom, it slowly cruises along the harbor edge, gathering floating waste that would otherwise drift toward the Chesapeake. Operated by the city's public works team, this vessel silently collects tons of litter that would threaten navigation and pollute waterways. Once the trash is captured on the skimmer's deck, crews unload it and ensure it's processed appropriately, rather than being left in the water or on the shoreline. It's a reminder that when we toss waste into streets or storm drains, it often ends up in our harbors and rivers. From the smallest creek to the open sea, oil and hydrocarbon contamination stays on the surface, but left unchecked, it endangers wildlife, waterways, and industry alike. Enter Elastic's fleet of high-performance oil skimmers, built exactly for this mission. Here you'll see drum skimmers, brush and disc units, weir models, all deployed across industrial pits, coastal spill sites, and river systems. Elastic's oleophilic drum technology attracts oil while rejecting water, achieving highly selective recovery rates that minimize water intake. In one scene, a floating TDS 118 drum skimmer quietly operates in shallow water, its grooved drums pulling oil into a central sump. In another, a brush-type unit handles heavy, viscous fuel in a mining pit. Elastic skimmers are purpose-built for continuous duty under demanding conditions, whether cold environments, high-viscosity oil spills, or remote industrial ponds. The process is elegant. A floating head collects the slick. A self-adjusting wiper removes the oil from the drum or belt, and a pump delivers the recovered oil to storage, all while leaving the water beneath visibly cleaner. In tests at the Omset facility, these skimmers proved their nameplate capacities under real conditions. Look close. In one clip, you'll see Elastic's weir or sea skater model in open water, surrounded by boom barriers, endlessly sweeping light film across a shoreline. In another, you'll observe a pipe skimmer on an industrial pit de-oiling process, where thousands of liters of waste oil are separated from water and recycled. What emerges is more than cleaned water. It's recovered waste oil ready for safe disposal or reuse, fewer emissions, less water treatment burden, and a strong signal that technology and environmental stewardship can work hand in hand. When a spill happens, or when industrial effluent needs cleanup, elastic skimmers are trusted around the globe in rivers, harbors, mining operations, and facilities. They show that with the right equipment, you can reclaim, reuse, restore,